The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another iconic episode of Icons of Real Estate Podcast. My name is Tabitha Kennedy, and I am your hostess with the mostest. I am thrilled to introduce our guest today. Even before we started the podcast, we were already just trading stories, and she is a wealth of knowledge. I am super excited for this episode today. As you know, we are the #1 real estate podcast in the United States, so we only bring on iconic guests, and today is absolutely no different. I would love to introduce to you guys our guest today, Dr. Cynthia Tant, a powerhouse in the real estate industry. Dr. Tant is the broker owner of Gulf Coast Home Experts, a dynamic sales brokerage and a Gulf Coast real estate management, a property management firm. She also leads Gulf Coast BNB Rentals, specializing in short-term vacation rentals, creating a true one-stop shop experience for her clients. With over 30 years of investment experience and 20 years in the retail sales, Dr. Tant has worked with thousands of clients to help them navigate their housing needs. Whether you're buying your first home, investing in real estate, or looking to expand your property portfolio, Dr. Tant has the expertise to guide you through every step of the process. She's passionate about educating her clients, whether they're first-time home buyers or seasoned investors. And if you're looking to create wealth through real estate, Dr. Tant is the expert to ask. It's one of her true talents. Please, everyone, give me a huge, iconic, virtual hand clap. Join us as we explore her journey and uncover some insider tips on how to succeed in real estate. Welcome, 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 Dr. Cynthia Tant. How you doing today, Ms. Tant?
Well, that sounds all pretty important there, Tabitha. I'm doing pretty good today. It's been 30 years of accumulation of properties and friends and the clients and every real estate horror story you could ever imagine, and probably be more in the future.
Wow. Well, I just realized, even with your bio, like, I want to be like you when I grow up, like the one-stop shop for everything. That is amazing. Like, even just seeing that you're like the versatility of your business, like, it's very impressive. How did you first get started in real estate? Let's start there. How did you enter into the wonderful world of real estate?
Well, as you were saying, doctor, I came to Pensacola, Florida as a college professor and for the University of West Florida. So that was, I consider myself a recovering academic because I've been in real estate now for so long too. But I started investing. My brother and I met a realtor who was an investor also. And so she introduced us to the investing world. And my biggest thing to tell you guys is don't try to buy 10 houses in 3 months on an investment craziness that we did. But that was back in the mid 90s. And those 10 properties did very well for us. We were passive investors. We held them, and since we bought them in the 95 range, and then we sold at the top of the market in 2005. Our beach house kind of got wiped out by Hurricane Ivan, but we had sold it 2 months before, so we did pretty good.
So that was good.
That was a good job, and so we just got the bug. And then when I left teaching in 2000, I decided to basically go into real estate full time on the retail perspective of it. And then 20 years ago, I guess now, started my own brokerage from the sales, like the buying and sales prospect of it. And then, so that was 20 years ago. 15 years ago, got into first my own property management, my own properties, but then started doing property management for others, up to a max of about 60, 70 units. It's not doors, or not a big, I don't want a big, gigantic property management company. And then about maybe 8 years ago, got into the B&B before it became popular. got into the B&B aspect because we are in Pensacola, Florida, and we are a vacation rental resort area to come to. And VRBO has been around for years and years and years here before Airbnb came. So just kind of took some of those long-term properties that I had invested in 95 and turned them from long-term rentals to short-term rentals. So that's where I got the ideas of the different entities and the different companies to separate them out and spread the wealth across companies versus all being together.
That is amazing. So, with all that you have going on, do you work with a team or are you solo?
I'm the broker owner for the brokerage and for the long-term rentals, and then I am the owner for the short-term rentals, or B&Bs, and I also have an investment company which puts all those people together. I have great people that work with me and for me, I guess you would say, as property managers and agents and oh my God, cleaners and handymen and
You're
whole
a big.
shebang all put together. So got some very good quality people too. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you're what I call a boss lady. You are
Yes, I
a
am.
boss lady. I like that. I love that. So you specialize in both residential sales and property management. Can you explain to me the key differences between working with homeowners versus investors in the real estate space?
Wow. Okay, that's a great question. Um, I guess I've always concentrated more in recent years of the investor person that I'm looking for because I have all these other options. So when I do have somebody come into town looking from an investment standpoint versus just being the typical 3-2 residential person buying their first home, I have those options of putting them in different positions of management. So if they buy with me, I put them either in long term or short term, depending on what numbers work the best. And then if they sell, I take them out of the management program, but I can put them in some, like we just, for an example, we just sold two duplexes for somebody that had been in the program for 12 years. And then self-directed IRA, she went on and she wanted to update in newer properties. So then I could move her into something else. Um, I'm not a real good buyer's agent. I'll be real honest with you. I'm a much better listing agent, going and talking to people and sellers. And so I'm more on that side of it. To tell you the truth, I'm a big fan of buying houses, but I buy them all the time, which is kind of funny.
Mm.
I'm terrible with buyers. My very first buyer, when I did my very first buyer, and they're still my friends, Ben and Diane. Ben walked into my office and he says, I've got a checkbook and I'm buying a house today. And I happened to be sitting on the floor of the real estate company I was working for at the time. I said, okay. So we, prepared this was again 20 something years ago. So we're looking on the MLS and we're putting stuff together. And the very first house we go to, I'm thinking this house is ridiculous, because it's my very first house, very first person. I'm showing it. It's got a pink kitchen. I'm just like going, oh, gag on this house, right? But it ended up being that that was the house they wanted. And so I tell that story because my viewpoint was very different than theirs, you know. And I said something, you really guys really like this pink kitchen? Oh yeah, that's the best part of the house. So that's when I learned to keep up my mouth shut and ask a lot of questions.
A lot of
So
questions.
it ended up being my first experience in the retail rental area. And so that worked out really well. So I'm more on the listing side of it. I like working with the sellers and then showing what we can do with that, and go from there. Could you stop this for real quick, or do I need to?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, you
Like I
okay?
said, they'll edit it.
Okay. Well, my printer's going and I need him to stop printing. So I
I
just told
can't
him
hear
not to.
it.
Yeah, I don't want it to be printing. So okay.
Got it.
Anyways, but anyway, so I kind of like, I guess in the buyer's perspective, I let the buyers go around the house and plant on something. I mean, when you drive right up at the very beginning, you drive up in the house and the buyers look at each other and they go, oh, I'm not going to try to go into that house and try to force them into a house that they're not even like from the outside. I let the
Right.
buyer tell me what they want. Okay.
Right.
Um, and so when I'm showing houses and getting to know these people, and I mean, there's been situations through the years that I could tell stories all day long. Just everybody says you have a story for something, and that's true. And those of us who have been in the field for a long time, we have lots of stories. And it's very different now. The real estate profession is very different today than it was 25 years ago because
Right.
of all the technology, and everybody knows how to flip houses now because of
Mhm.
HGTV, which doesn't work like that in real life.
Not at
Those
all.
um the people that are coming on, they've already gone to the internet as a buyer, and they've probably searched through 600 houses or something,
Right.
if we have that many. Um, and so, but the education part of it, I enjoy. I enjoy the education of a first-time home buyer. It's just like when I was in the classroom. Okay, let's create this story. Now, guess what? Not only do you have, quote, a rent payment, we have taxes, we have insurance. And if let's say the water heater breaks, who's paying for it? So trying to get that education to a first-time home buyer, even a buyer of a residential house, when I'm explaining it, I try to describe it as I'm the hub of the wheel for a realtor. I'm in the middle and I'm going to help you with your lender, but I'm not a mortgage person. So I'm not going to answer those questions because I don't have that experience. I do, but I'm not going to. um, when then we have the title company, then we have the home inspectors, then we have the pests, and then we have the repairs, and then we have the insurance. And so here's all these spokes of the wheel going off the hub, and I'm going to have to coordinate that. So I enjoy that process of teaching, I guess you would say the word is. Of some people, this is the biggest investment they're ever going to make, is
That's
their
true.
home.
It's their home. That's
And
right.
so making them comfortable with that, and um, assuring them that they are making the right decision, you know. And investment's a little bit different. And from we talked earlier from an investment standpoint, your investors are looking at the money bottom line. Let's see what can we do for you,
Right.
and coordinating all that. I have a brand new agent. That's the one who was printing in here, and I mean he's just being overwhelmed. He's been with me for 6 weeks, and I've been trying to bombard him with everything. But he goes out, he knocks on doors, he does old school real estate, he talks to people, open houses. So it's still a relationship business. And I
It
just
always
think
will
that
be.
it's going to be, and the more knowledge you have, obviously, of the area. I do B&Bs, but I only do it in Pensacola. I don't have B&Bs all over the world. You know, I emphasize and I specialize in this area. I do help other people in different areas, friends of mine who may be looking at stuff, but prefer to be the expert here and make sure that I will tell people, and some people say I'm crazy, but I will tell people not to buy houses because they're not going to be able to achieve what they want.
Right.
And uh, and I say, yeah, you're going to be mad at me if you want to make so certain percentage off of this house, and I'm telling you right now it's not going to happen, but you go and buy the house anyways. You're going to be mad at me if I can't help you fulfill that
Fulfill the.
need.
So do you ever have
Yeah.
any, I call them 360 clients, where you either sell or buy the house and then turn around and become like the property manager?
Yeah, no, that's a lot what my specialty is. Yeah. So when we're out looking for that, yeah, if the investor is looking, then I'll let them know, should we do a short-term rental or should we do a long-term rental? And so, and they buy the house from me, I offer those, and I also give them a discount on the management for the first year because they were one of my clients,
Yeah,
of a
wow.
purchase. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That is, listen, I'm telling you, I want to be like you when I grow up. This is good stuff.
It,
Like,
it's a, it's getting it set up is the hardest part.
so
Once
let's
you,
go there.
yeah,
Like,
okay.
so let's say you have somebody that walks in and says, "Okay, Dr. Tant, I want to set up property management and real estate. I want to do what you're doing. How do you do that? Like
Well,
what would you tell them to do first?
yeah, well, I wouldn't do it all at once.
Right.
First, as we know, and I did it in steps, and as we know, I started investing initially with somebody else, but we managed them ourselves. My mom was here and she wanted to be the property manager. She's 93 years old now. She's still going great. And
Okay. I
started out as
love
my
it.
property manager when she was 62. And
Love it.
so started that way. So I was in the down and dirty. I bought the houses, I renovated the houses, even though I was a professor at the time and working. I started learning how to do it myself. Okay. And that's how I started the investment part of it. Now, one day when I was on top of a two-story house, historical home, putting a screen over a fireplace, I said, I'm going to kill myself up here. What am I doing? And I stopped and I said, and I will pay other people to do this. But I learned by being in the trenches from the investment standpoint, learning the market. And just by chance, I made the decision to leave academia and to go into real estate because I was actually kind of helping people how to become investors, but I wasn't a realtor. I said, well, what am I doing on
Wow,
this?
what am I doing? Wow.
So I kind of rolled into becoming the retail person. I became a broker for my own business within 2 years after I became a real estate agent. So
Wow.
I did it pretty quickly. Um, and then learning how to manage a brokerage, that's a real,
That's fun. That sounds
yeah, that's
fun.
fun. Turnover, it always happens in everything, but because I did that had investing knowledge first, I was able to start right away with people who wanted to do investing, but now I was their realtor. And then when I became the broker, I took some business courses to learn how to maximize the widthwise of not having everything all tied up into one company. So having the brokerage, property management, short-term rentals, and always having that investor consultant kind of uh, another business on the side where I have vendors and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm very active and have always been. There's been some bad times, good times, but when you have everything spread across, if one's down, the other one,
Other one is
people are
up.
always, yeah, they're always renting. Since Florida was wide open during the pandemic, man, oh man, the B&B business was like crazy because
Yeah.
everybody was coming to Florida. It's a little slowed down right now because we became oversaturated. But I have a very niche market on that. I'm in the downtown area. I only have 2 bedrooms max, 1 bedroom studios. I like the smaller historical room, home kinds of things.
Mhm.
Um, Try to get away from that. Ooh, that was not a good decision. We make some bad decisions sometimes in real estate.
Right.
Um, but I wouldn't try to do it all at once unless you had some foundation.
Mhm.
Um, and I would also recommend not mentoring, following a mentor that will speed up your time in the business. Find someone like me and learn from me in the same time that you want to build your business. And understand it's a business. Could be a career for a young person. I got started, I was in my 40s before I got into, doing what I'm doing now. So somebody who's starting their 20s or 30s now in the real estate field, it's I'm not saying it's easier, that's for sure. But you have a lot of technology, you have a lot of things that we didn't have back then. So, but I take your time with it, see what you really like. I really enjoy the B&B market, the B&B business. Um, Meet some really cool people, and there's not so cool people sometimes, but that's in every kind of business. But spreading it out, um, being comfortable, constantly learning, constantly educating yourself, making sure you've got the rules and the regulations and supporting whoever's working with you. I've trained a lot of people who've gone on to other bigger entities,
Wow.
bigger brokerages, and then they left the real estate field. They just got burnt out. Or they went on to do their own that's the fun part, is a couple of them have gone on to do their own brokerages and they still keep calling me. I go, oh my God, you guys, you're your own broker or your
Take your
own,
own
but
wealth of knowledge. I'm
yeah,
sitting here just
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
looking it
Asking
all up.
questions. Yeah, one just the other day just asked, and I go, "Are you kidding me?" And but we've known each other for 25 years, so it's like a matter. I love to see that happen. I love to see people go to the next level if that's what they want to be, a developer or broker, or if they decide real estate's not their passion. Um, that's kind of I'm still got the teacher in me. I still want to be able to see the growth of somebody throughout that
Yeah,
progression.
is the wow. So what do you think the biggest mistake people make when they first start investing in real estate? What do you think is the
Investing in real estate.
hmm
They don't tell you the truth. They don't have a real estate agent who's an investor.
mm,
How many real estate agents are not investors?
a lot.
Probably 90%.
Yeah, a
So
lot.
you're trying to give advice and you're trying to find properties for somebody who wants to be an investor, and you have no idea what an investor
What
does
an
or is
investor
involved.
does or how they yeah, it's not this isn't residential, so I don't care. I don't care about the pink kitchen per se, like I more care about the numbers.
Right. And finding the property that match, listening to the client of what they're saying, and then maybe maneuvering a little bit based on education that you may have as an investor as to why this property is going to work better than another. You know, now, do you hit it 100% out of the park all the time? No. I've been very fortunate with most of the properties that we've done in the past. I haven't had anybody come mad back at me or anything like that. But sometimes we've had to readjust from the B&B to a long-term rental property or something like that. But that was my first, and that's what I did. A friend of mine introduced me to the first realtor I ever worked with who was an investor. And she was a big time investor here in town. And she just basically she said, hey, I can't buy this at this time, but this is the deal you need to do. My brother and I didn't know what we were doing. And
Mm.
that's when we bought 10 properties in a short period of time, which paid off tremendous later on, but don't do that.
So you said you guys bought 10 properties. Did you save up the down payment or how did you do a hard money? Like how does one because I know people that's the first thing they're asking, well, where does the money come from?
Right. Well, you got to remember it's a different time and the
Okay.
prices points here were very different back
Right.
then. So, fortunately, we got a triplex and two duplexes for a total of $62,000.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah. That was a deal that the husband, they were getting divorced and he didn't want to give any money
Just get rid of
and
it.
said, I'll sell it to you for 62,000. And we said sold.
Of
So and
course.
I still own one of the duplexes. I sold the triplex and one duplex off, but those were excellent rentals. I mean, for great construction, overlooking the water, kind of stuff like that. That doesn't happen anymore right now. And that was in the 90s.
Absolutely.
The money today is very different. I mean, also we had a lot of cash. My brother and I both had good jobs and we had a lot of cash that we put down. But we also, back then, banks would allow you to have 10 properties as a mortgage.
Right.
Saying then we went through the swing was, oh man, 2004, 5, 6, when the market was going crazy, you could buy whatever you wanted. The bank didn't care. And then of course, 7, 8, 9, it went crashed and burned. And so the bank said, now you can only have one mortgage for an investment if you want to do that, blah, blah, blah. So um yeah, so we did have some cash and we took the conventional loans back then were 20% that we were able to get. And then our price points were only between 60 and $100,000. That was it because of where we're at. And well, like we bought one of the historical homes for 85,000. We did renovations. We put about 50 into it. We bought it at 95, put about 50 into it, sold it in 2005 for 425,000. So it was paid off, because we had our 15-year mortgage on the short term. So yeah, it did pretty good during that 2005 year, 2006.
Wow. Wow.
And then started over again. So when the downturn went, started over again, and then um, have what I have now. So from a wealth standpoint, real estate has been very, very good to myself and my family.
Wow. Ooh. Are you guys hearing this? Or are y'all soaking this in? Because I am. I know y'all see the big cheese on my face because I am smiling. This is some good stuff right here. Super inspiring, very impressive. So, with everything that you've accomplished over the last 30 years, what goals do you have for 2025?
Wow. Well, I'm hoping to retire and
Okay.
sell the business. Yeah.
Okay.
I was hoping to do that in 2024, but as the year got on, I realized that it wasn't going to happen. And again, my mom is elderly and still alive and doing well, but everyone tells me, and they go, "You're not going to retire, because what would you do?" And I go, "Well, I do a lot of traveling anyways, so I do that now, so that wouldn't change." I don't know. I enjoy, not every day do I enjoy real estate. Trust me. There are some days that I would just like I told you earlier, this is like the third Monday of this week and it's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, there's those times that you're just ready to, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And you think you've heard everything and then something comes along, you go, there is no way. It can't be. But so 2025, I went to a speed networking event about a month ago, and you do your little 60-second commercial sort of what you do or
Mhm.
what you want, what you're looking for at this networking thing. I wasn't really prepared. I was going with one of my agents to just go. And so when you start talking and they ask you, and I said, well, yeah, my name's Cynthia Tant, I'm Gulf Coast Home Experts and Gulf Coast BNB Rentals and Gulf Coast Real Estate Management. And I just want to get out of Pensacola. That was what I said. I sell the businesses and get out of Pensacola. And everybody looked at me like, well, that's the first time we've ever had somebody who wants to get out of Pensacola.
Right.
Everybody in this
Right.
group is trying to build their businesses already.
Right.
But what's really funny was because from that networking of meeting I think I met about 30 people that night. I had 4 people come to me and want to talk to me about buying businesses, one or all. And I had a realtor come to me and said, what are you going to do with your database? I said, I'm going to sell it. Okay, let's talk. Because a lot of realtors don't realize how valuable their database
It
is.
is.
And if you've taken the time to really massage it and build it, I have a group, it's called my Flip Flop Nation, which are my best referrers that I've had for years. It's about 300 people. And I do special events quarterly. My mom's birthday's in June, so we have a baseball event, where I'll
Mm.
rent out the party deck and she does her baseball thing and I invite everybody over. And during that time, I also have my Airbnb and B&B business and property management. So everybody in this group knows that I do investments and help and do that. So um, it's at 360 as you're talking about. It's going in a circle, and
Right.
I'm adding to it as we go. So 2025 is the plan was 2024 to retire, 2025. I'm going, oh my gosh. I'm having a pretty good year this year, so I think I'm just going to make the thing to double what I'm doing this year for next year, and then take 2026 to figure out. That'll
Well,
be it.
I would tune in if you had a podcast. I'll say that.
Yeah,
You could lean
you know
into
what? And
the
people have
teaching bit.
asked me. Yeah, people have asked me to do that, and
Yeah. I
I,
mean,
I
I would subscribe, like, share, and tune in because everything that you're saying that you've built, I'm over here just like, that's what I want to do.
mhm.
And I wish I lived in Pensacola because I would be knocking on your door with because I'm licensed as well. Like, hey, hi,
Yeah.
take me in.
Well, you're coming through here to get from Dallas area to go down to, and you know what? This is a good stopping point because it's 10 hour. People like to stop in Pensacola. I have a lot in the Airbnbs where they're driving from Houston or Dallas or
Oh my
something,
gosh,
going to
yes,
Disney World
yes.
and back because you got the same kind of hours drive. Well, 8 hour, 7 hours down to Orlando,
Yeah, that's
10 from Dallas, 9 from Houston. So it's a good stopping point. We have a lot of people that do that. And if you're, I mean, let me
oh,
know. When did you say you were coming?
we're leaving on Sunday. So it's going to be Sunday to Sunday.
Oh, you're driving straight though?
Yeah, we're gonna stop. I just always it's funny you say that. I'm always like trying to Google like where's the midpoint. So we
Mhm.
usually just like when we're tired we'll stop. But if we could
Right.
like actually make a plan to stop, I would definitely do that. I would love to meet you.
Yeah. No, I mean, and right now we're a little slow with the B&Bs. How many are coming family wise and what's
So on the way there it's two of us, but on the way back it's two adults and two kids.
two adults and two kids? Okay, you're picking up kids to bring back?
Yeah, so we're a blended family. So
Okay.
we're going to pick up the step kids.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I got some real nice downtown. After this, you can send me an
Yeah.
email and
Oh,
right downtown. Stop, drive on in 10 hours. I know it's a long drive for 10 hours, but stop and hang out in Pensacola. You can go downtown and go to a nice restaurant and
oh,
stuff.
definitely. Oh,
You
we're
can
doing
like it.
that. That's a
Oh,
yeah.
actually, I can put you in a historical home, most
Oh,
likely. Yeah, I'll put
cool.
notes.
Okay. Okay. We're
Yeah, I know
definitely
we're off
okay.
topic, but anyways, but that's another
Sorry,
thing
guys.
too.
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a very because I do a lot of traveling, I'm always talking real estate. That's the one thing about real estate. You can talk real estate anywhere. You can sit at a bar, you can go to a restaurant, wherever you're at, on the plane. I met somebody when I was going to the Olympics to Paris this summer. And when I was on the plane, I started talking about, well, first we talked about Paris going to the Olympics. But then we talked about, she asked me what I did. I said real estate. And I wasn't going to get into a discussion, but we did. So she called me last week. She goes, I'm ready now. And I said, I didn't even remember who she was. All right. Oh my gosh. What did we talk about? Oh yeah. Okay. So she's looking at some property over here. And when I went to my Alaska cruise in October, I had a B&B here for sale. And I had a gentleman call me and he says, hey, I'm very interested in this as an investment. Showed him the numbers, everything. And then I said, when would you like to take a look at it? And he says, um, I live in Seattle. I said, oh my God, I'm going to be in Seattle in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I said, let me get you information and everything. I'll meet up with you. We'll talk about numbers and everything. Took me to breakfast, made an offer the day before I got on the ship from Seattle, Washington to buy a house over here in Pensacola, Florida. So those
Amazing.
are things that, yeah, I know you just have to talk to people. So,
Well, definitely, I will be sending you an email after this podcast. Um, so how can our audience reach out to you?
oh, well, obviously you may call and I do pick up my phone, you guys. I do answer the phone. Because sometimes realtors don't answer like they should. But my phone number is 850-393-5134. And of course, email. And it's Cindy, Cindy, at move, MOVE, the number two, and then FLA, like Florida, FLA.com. I've actually had that email for, oh my God, 25 years. Kind of crazy.
So I have a fun question. My last fun question for you. If you
Sure.
did have a podcast, what would you call it?
If I had a podcast,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, had to be, oh my gosh, Docs. A lot of people call me Doc Cindy, even though I haven't taught in, 25 years. Um, I don't know. Docs something real estate, Docs investment tools or I don't know. That's a good question. But you know what? We can talk about this and you can help
Yeah, Dr. Real Estate. I love it.
something like that. Yeah. Or
Yeah, I love it.
Jack of all trades and three, I don't know. I'd have to think something with the three companies or something like that.
Something
But
that would definitely create the synergy. I love
yeah.
it. You guys, this was a very cool episode with Doc, aka Dr. Cynthia Tant, out of Pensacola, Florida, the Jack and Jill of all things real estate. You guys, please reach out to her if you guys are interested in anything that she said. Like she says, she does answer your phone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another iconic episode here at the Icons of Real Estate, where we are the #1 real estate podcast in the United States. You have a lovely day and blessings. Bye.